Hey guys, I am back to do my book haul for November 2019. I'm actually filming this a little bit early just because I don't anticipate getting very many books in the rest of the month, although there's still Black Friday, so who am I kidding? But it is the 23rd of November when I am filming this, but I needed to get some videos filmed, so I figured I would grab this one. But yeah, so these are the books that I've gotten so far. Let's just get into it. The first one is Here There Are Monsters. This one I actually got when we were at the convention at the very, very beginning of the month because I had actually finished all the books that I brought to the convention to read, so I needed to buy another one. Granted, I started reading this and then just kind of got a little bored with it and put it down, so I'll try and repick it up later. But this one is about 16-year-old Skye is done playing knight in shining armor for her insufferable younger sister Deidre. Moving across the country seems like a preferred chance to start over, reinventing her life. In their isolated new neighborhood, Skye manages to fit in, but Deidre withdraws from everyone, becoming fixated on the swampy woods behind their house and the building monstrous structures out of sticks and bones. And then Deidre disappears. So I thought that sounded interesting. The next one I got, I had to get because, so I had finished the first book in The Haunting of Sunshine Girl, so I ended up getting the second book because I really liked this series. So this is The Awakening of Sunshine Girl. So this is all about Sunshine who can communicate with ghosts, and she discovered that she's some like mythical creature, an ancient race of creatures who live among the humans, and they protect them from the dark spirits. And she's like the only one of, like the only new generation that's been born like in like hundreds of years. So she's like awakened to her powers, and now she's trying to like learn how to handle her powers and everything. So I thought this was super cute, so I had to get the next book in that series. And we'll probably read it soon because it's middle grade, so it's really quick read. The next one I got is The Light Between Worlds, because someone had told me, I can't remember who, that this had very similar vibes to the Wayward Children series. And that's kind of like my favorite series, so I really wanted to get this one and give this a try. So this is basically two children. They're kidnapped and taken to some like beautiful kingdom called the Woodlands. They live for years in like this fantasy world, and then they're basically returned to London, where they came from, with no time passed and nothing changed except for themselves. So they're trying to like acclimate themselves back into normal society, and one of them is doing a better job of it than the other. So that sounds really interesting. And more Wayward Children, please. I'm super excited for January when the next book comes out. So the next one I got is The Music of What Happens. This one just popped up as a recommendation on Amazon, and it sounded interesting enough. So I figured I would give it a try. I am so bad with reading like contemporary, so we'll see how well I do with this. I think this will be my like one of my so I've tried multiples and I just get so bored with them. So we'll see what happens. Max, chill sports his buddies comfortably gay. His secret, an encounter with an older kid that makes it hard to breathe, one he doesn't want to think about ever again. Jordan, opposite of chill. Makeovers, his wife's never been kissed. His secret, spiraling out of control mother and the knowledge that it's up to him to keep their family from losing their homes. So this is over the course of one summer, two boys will have to face their biggest fears and decide what they're willing to risk and the things they want the most. So we'll see. The next one that I got is I actually went to the bookstore, as you can see, discount coupon, and got the Starlight See. So I will be buddy reading this one with Shae, probably in December, because this is one of the books that she wants to try and read before the end of the year. This is the author of The Night Circus. I've never read The Night Circus. I own it. It's in that pile of books over there, but I've just never gotten around to owning it, well, reading it. And I need to, because everyone says it's amazing. So this one says, far beneath the surface of the earth, upon the shores of the Starlight Sea, there is a labyrinth collection of tunnels and rooms filled with stories. The entranceway that leads to the sanctuaries are often hidden, sometimes on forest floors, sometimes in private homes, sometimes in plain sight. But those who seek will find the doors have been waiting for them. Zachary is searching for his door, though he doesn't know it. He searches a silent siren song and an inexplainable certainty that he's meant for another place. When he discovers a mysterious book in the stacks of his campus library, he begins to read and is entranced by the tales of lovelorn prisoners, lost cities, and nameless acolytes. Suddenly, a turn of the page brings Zachary to a story from his own childhood, impossibly written in this book that is older than he is. So, yeah, it sounds really cool. And another Portal-type fantasy book, which I very much enjoy. So the next ones that I got these at the same time that I got this book from Barnes & Noble, no, Books A Million, because I don't have a Barnes & Nobles. So I have the memberships to both, because I have a Barnes & Nobles by where my cousins live, but I don't have one really near me. So if I want to go to a bookstore, I have like 2 Books A Million. So, but when I go visit them, they've got like like 5 or 6 Barnes & Nobles and like no Books A Million. So I have memberships for both. But I ended up getting these 2, which is the first and second book in the House of Flurries novel. I have this author. Have I read this author? I feel like I've read this author. I think I've read this author, which is why I was kind of interested in picking them up. Now I can't remember what it was that she wrote that I read. Something. Anyways. Let's put you up there and we'll focus on this one. Okay. Louisa has nowhere to go. When she's offered employment as the maid at a boarding house, Louisa thinks she's been saved. But soon after her arrival at the Cold Thistle home, Lisa realizes that the house's mysterious owner, Mr. Morningside, is providing much more than lodging for his guests. In fact, Mr. Morningside and his unusual staff are executing their own brand of dark justice on those who are past being saved, including his charismatic young man Louisa is determined to prove innocent. In the first series of this gothic horror series, photographs and illustrations help bring to life a world where the line between monsters as men is grimly thin. So I got the original and the secret, and so yeah, I've definitely read something that had pictures like this in it, so I think I've read her before and I liked her books, so that's why I figured I would grab the next 2. I can't remember what I read that she wrote, though. Are you, like, available, easy access in this random stack of books I still need to put away? Because I'm terrible. No. Okay, I don't remember. So the next one that I got is Into the Drowning Deep. Everyone has told me to read this one. And it's also, apparently, I had no clue, that Mira Grant is the horror writing name for Sean McGuire. So, I have to get this because I love the Wayward Children series, and I did not realize that she wrote horror. And I've kind of had some dabbling in horror. I mean, like, the paranormal is kind of straddling the line with horror, so that's kind of why I'm like, sure. So this one, everyone says this one is so good. 7 years ago, the Artaeus set off to voyage to the Maranian Trench to film a mockumentary bringing to life ancient sea creatures of legend. It was lost at sea with all hands. Some have called it a hoax, others have called it a tragedy. Now a new crew has been assembled. Some seek to validate their life's works. Some seek the greatest hunt of all. Some seeks the truth, but for the ambitious young scientist Victoria Stewart, this is a voyage to uncover the fate of the sister she lost. Yeah, I really want to read this. We'll see how well I do, because I'm not as good with adult books as I am with, like, young adult books. I'm assuming this is an adult book. This looks very adult. But there's that. And then, I think like a few days ago, I ended up picking this one because I needed to like bump up to a different price point to get something off of Amazon. I can't remember what. But I ended up getting No Exit, which is also another, well, it's a thriller, which I've been really getting into. So this is basically, it's like there's a group of people that are stuck in a blizzard and they have to wait it out in like some like remote rest stop. But one of the girls there, she goes into the storm and realizes that there's like a van parked to her car and there's a little girl locked in an animal cage in that van. And it's trying to figure out what's going on. Whose van is this? Why is there a child locked in the car? Who do I trust? Oh my gosh, child locked in van. Yeah, it sounds really cool. So I had to get that one. Someone also said that one was really good, so there's that. And then the last thing I got, because apparently I figured it was finally time I got on this train. The Shadow and Bones trilogy. So, I'm like so late to this party. Everyone like loves the Grishaverse and Leigh Bardugo and everything else, and I've not read a single one of her books. And everyone said if you're going to read one of her books, do it right. Start this Grishaverse series, and this is the first, please correct me if I'm wrong, this is the first thing I should be reading in this series. So, I just got the paperbacks and this box set. So, Shadow and Bones, Siege and Storm, really pretty covers by the way, and Ruin and Rising. So yes, my pledge for my TBR for next year is to actually start myself in this Grishaverse and read these. So I'm gonna do like my first time doing like an actual bullet journal next year, and I'll eventually do like I've got a bunch of like stuff for it, so I'm gonna do like a bullet journal haul. I'm just waiting for technically a second bullet journal because I'm trying to figure out which one I want to use. Maybe even a third. We're not going to talk about that. So yeah. There's my books. So I will be doing a haul of stuff I've gotten for my bullet journal in December and trying to figure out how I want to set it up. But one of the things I want to do is like on the front, like before like starting the months, I was thinking about doing like a yearly TBR. Like these are the series that I really want to make sure that I like get to before like the end of 2020. So like big things, like things that are like everyone's like, these are like the quintessential books you should be reading. Like this trilogy, like Nevernight, The Night Circus, things like that I should really get to reading eventually, but I've just been lazy and been prioritizing like the new stuff that comes out instead of like the old stuff. So I'm gonna make like a TBR list for 2020, and those are gonna be, this is gonna be on it. But anyways, what do you think, guys? If you have to like, oh, ACOTAR, that's another one I'm gonna put on it. If there's like quintessential young adult fantasy that you think I should read, like quintessential, like this is like a YA book or series that like everyone and their mother who reads YA fantasy has read, and you're just late to the party with Starbucks, what would that series be? Leave it down below. I'd love to like start looking into that, besides obviously the ones that I've gotten. So yeah, so anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this book haul for November 2019. I will see you guys later for the next video. Everyone have a very good rest of the day.